evening and welcome to the Progress Campus. We're set for the OCAA Women's Volleyball as the Centennial Colts host the George Brown Huskies. I'm your host, Danish, along with producer Leo. Glad you're with us here. Tonight marks an important moment for the Centennial Colts as this is their first home match in about 2 weeks. After an extended road trip, the Colts are back in familiar surroundings, looking to reestablish rhythm and feed off of the energy in the home crowd. The road stretch was a demanding one. The Colts spent the past 2 weeks on the road facing Algonquin, Georgian, St. Lawrence, Fleming, and Canadore. It was a tough run against playoff level competition, but one that provided value and experience and tested these groups in long physical matches. And the biggest storyline of tonight is a win for the Colts with the Loyalists losing positions the Colts in a clinched playoff position. So, biggest game for the Colts this season. Everything they've been building towards is right in front of them, a chance to secure a postseason in front of the home crowd. George Brown comes in at 500, so 7-7 in the East standing, about in the middle of the East standing, so they're trying to get prepared for their playoff run. Expect a composed, disciplined opponent that will try to control the tempo. For Centennial, it's simple: defend home court, play with urgency, and take advantage of the opportunity. Head coach Andrew Mallory's biggest takeaway was the middles for George Brown. They just need to be blocked off, and the spike's gonna go all the way at the back. So a very thrilling match upcoming within a few minutes of the national anthem and starting lineups. We will see you shortly.
Good evening, fans, and welcome to the Athletic and Wellness Center, home of your Centennial Colts. This month is Black History Month, and we'd like to share a quick message from the college to acknowledge. Centennial College is proud to celebrate Black History Month, an opportunity to engage our community in honoring the experiences, histories, contributions, and achievements of diverse Black communities. As we engage in celebration, it is imperative to acknowledge the ongoing institutionalization and systemic inequalities that continue to perpetuate anti-Black racism in today's society. As a community, we are called to accountability in the action to address the challenges of anti-Black racism in all forms as we continue to build a college community that values inclusion, diversity, and principles of social justice, not only in the month of February, but throughout the year. Black History Month is a time for action, a time for honoring the contributions and accomplishments of the Black community, and while celebrating and amplifying the voices of all people from the African diaspora. And I please ask for you to rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. 5'3" libero, Caitlin McCormick. From the south, a 5'10" outside hitter, number 9, Julia Gordon. From Red Deer, Alberta, 5'7" center, number 11, Gina Morris. From Black Falls, Alberta, 5'10" middle, number 12, Alex Blunt. From Whitby, Ontario, 5'7" outside hitter, number 13, Haley Marshall. From Toronto, Ontario, 6'1" middle, number 14, Lori Sterling. From Plaster Rock, New Brunswick, 5'7" outside hitter, number 22, Jessica Bowens. Daphne Choi, 8th season. And now, the moment you all been waiting for. Introducing your Colts starting lineup. From Hickory, Ontario, a 5'8" outside hitter, number 4, Katie Fury. From Vancouver, BC, a 5'6" libero, number 5, Katrina Nakate. From Snowville, Ontario, a 5'7" outside hitter, number 6, Maria. From Scarborough, a 5'3" hitter, number 7, Kristen Barui. From Windsor, Ontario, a 6'2" middle, number 11, Kristen Rania. From Ocaa, Brazil, a 5'7" outside hitter, number 13,
All right, we are back for this thrilling best of three sets. The Colts take on the Huskies. So the Colts come in with a season average of 7.43 kills, the hitting percentage of .114. You know, the Colts, for them to win, they're built on defense and extending rally, so it's going to be that for them to get away with this one. Here as the first serve comes in, Sophia jams it in, gets that spike, all of it. Here comes the block, and the block goes out. So opening this game up, we have the Huskies getting the first point, coming in at a 7-7 record. So very efficient for them. Here's the first serve. This one kind of slips on the Colts. This one goes over. Deering gets a touch on it. Here comes the spike, and the spike gets in. So a quick 2 points for the Huskies. And the Colts team is built around the blocks. You know, they average 1.95 blocks. This one comes in short. And Sophia kind of slips on it a little, and that one goes a bit long. So the setup was just behind her. Is that one a bit short? So the Huskies very efficient on the serve. No faults yet on that. No service here. And here is the setup. Katabi gets on that one. This one gets soft touched. And the Huskies going for the spike play. And this one goes far into the bleachers. As the Huskies take a demanding 4-0 lead. Let's look at that replay. Just get all of that. You know, they're not going for the one-and-one taps to rally. They just get the two-touch and the spike. So that looks like their game plan ahead. And here, the Colts. It looked like the Colts were going to get the point there, and they do. So a great dig by the Huskies. That looked like it was out by miles, but a great effort nonetheless. So this is the first service for the Colts as Ruiz is set to start it up. As I say that, she gets it in. And a soft hot tip. So Huskies 5-1. Let's look at that replay. A very smart tactic by the Huskies. They've always been spiking it thus far. And on that 5th point they just tapped it over. That one gets on Katabi. Here comes Sophia, and she spikes it home. So Arujo gets that through. So Deering servicing this one. Gets that one in. Here is Sophia with the setup. Actually doesn't go to her. It goes to Pawlowski. So the Colts with the great trick there. They honestly look like they're going to go to Arujo. And the setup just went to the right. And this one looks like it just went a bit to the right on the service. So Deering gets the service here. And now for the Huskies, we have Sterling. Sophia gets that one to go. So again, hesitated the middles, made them jump and just tipped it over. You know, Arujo has that 6'3" height, so she can hang in the air for a bit. As I say that, Arujo is the one getting a couple points for the Colts as they inch back into this one. Let's look at that one. Yeah, that one goes a bit further on the forearm of the Huskies. Arujo gets it in. And the Colts are not trying to play with the middles. Looks like that's what their strategy is, and they're going to put this one deep. And it goes right to the middles, actually. And this looks like it might have grazed the line. Let's look at that replay. Yeah, bounced right in. So fair point. Just goes completely diagonal. And now for the Huskies, we have Marshall. So Pawlowski got that excellent point on the front. Just tipped it over. And she gets the service ace. So a service ace for Pawlowski. Let's look at that one. Yeah, I kind of jammed two of the Huskies together. Didn't know who was going to play that one. And Pawlowski does the same move. But Katabi gets it up. Here's Ruiz with the setup. And this one gets tipped over a few. And great dig by the Colts as Ruiz sets it up again for the tip. The tip goes over. Watch the block. The block was there. So Ruiz setting it up for Rachia and kind of slips on her. Looked like the ball was spinning almost. So great effort there by both sides. No service errors thus far. A very tight game. Points being earned pretty much fairly. No controversial calls thus far. We know we had quite a few in our last homestand here. This one looking very competitive as that one gets on Deering. Here comes a spike, but too little on that one by Mora. So for the Huskies, Gordon. We know the Colts can inch back very quickly. Deering spikes it from way behind. Looked like it was a bit of a miscue there. She was quite a bit far back. I think her teammates were calling for a setup, but that doesn't go their way. Now, nonetheless, they regroup. A bit of a change in formation for the Colts as they're gonna regroup, and it looks like Coach Andrew Mallory is gonna talk a few things over. And you know, the Colts just had this very tight, honestly. They were down 5-1, made it 7-6, and this one kind of inching away from them. But the good news is no service errors for them. You know, they lost a ton of points because of that. So their services have been on point. We know they've probably been practicing with that. And head coach Andrew Mallory didn't want to see the middles. He wanted to stay away from the middles of the Huskies. And it looks like that's what the Huskies are planning to do. Just get it to the middles and get that spike going. They have a lot of effective players up front. So a well-called timeout, honestly. Down by 5, up to 25 points first set. So change the mindset a little as we see Katabi move down a bit. Shuffling to the right as this one's got to go over by Mora. She gets it over. Here's a setup. And as I say that, the Huskies are still sticking to their game plan. Just going right to the middle, just setting it up. And for them, it's Milot who spikes that one. So they're going to have to force it all the way to the back. We're going to see that by Mora as she gets it in. This is where the Huskies struggle a bit. So a great idea by the Colts. They got that one to go. But more of that. As we see, Katabi was more at the back and now shuffling to the right. So the formation change. As this one gets on Deering, Ruiz setting it up. Deering softly touches it in. As she dives for that. As the flagman just tips over. It's a bit of a delayed fall. Let's look at that. She kind of fell, and then he just falls over. That was a bit of a awkward one. So the Huskies get that spike to go in their way. As this one looks like it's slipping away. 4 consecutive points after that timeout. So here comes the Huskies. And this one goes out. So the first service error goes to the Huskies. And now it's time for the Colts to see if they can get back into this one. So for the Colts, it's Mora. She gets that one deep, a perfectly positioned serve. And a violation. I believe that was out. So, no, it was a 2-touch, sorry. Fingers go up. A 2-touch there. And Deering just smacks it. Gets that one to split the middles. Richia can't get it through. It looks like it's a whole brick wall for them up front. Gets that one deep. That's Katabi setting it up. As Deering gets that one. So the Colts challenging the middles of the Huskies. Kind of a change of plans. It looked like they were going over them and forcing the back. But they kept just setting it up for the middle. So here's Ava Hamilton, and she serves it in shallow. Here's Sophia, just tips it in. And the Colts get that. So hard to tell when such a tall player just jumps. You don't know if a spike is coming or a tip is coming or it's just going to hit it diagonally. So Eva Hamilton gets that one, a perfectly positioned spot, as she gets that one. And a bit of a miscue for the Colts. It looked like that kind of bounced in an awkward position, like right below the net. So very hard to get that one to go. As this one gets on Katabi. Here's Deering getting that point to go. So Ruiz, a very effective serve. That serve for the whole season. So look for her to rally on this serve. And just a shallow one for the Colts, as Deering kind of slipped a little. As Deering gets this one. And Mora challenges the middles for the block, and they get the block point there. So Coach Andrew Mallory wants a talk with his team. So we will be back after this 50-second timeout.
Today is also National Girls and Women's Night Sport. I'd like to give a big shout out to all the trailblazing women who broken down the barriers for swimming in sports. Let it go.
So a few things spoken over by the Colts. Here's Sophia getting that point. It looked like both teams were calling for that one. Let's look at that. Yeah, both teams kind of had their hands up, but it goes the Colts' way. Okay, Deering getting that spike in hard. As Deering just... Here's Mora. And they get the point there. A net violation. So quick 2 points for the Colts. So Deering lofts this one. And this one goes long by a bit. Deering has a bullet of a serve. So now for the Huskies, Sterling, very effective at the service. And as I say, I jinx her. And the Colts get the point off of the service here. So checking back into the game is Richia and Neha. She gets it in shallow. Richia there for the block. She faked that one. As this one, Pawlowski gets all of. So let's look at that one. Setting up for that one. No chance of saving that. As Meha at the service. She gets it on. And watch for the middles for the Huskies. And they don't get it. And the block attempt was there for Richia, so she would have been there to get the block point. But nonetheless, Huskies don't get it over. So effective timeout, 4 straight points. I believe 5, sorry, for the Colts. As this one comes in spinning. So a spin serve. And the Huskies respond with a quick spike. So no timeout for them thus far. Just seen that gap. Bit of a diamond formation for the Colts. And the Huskies pick that one apart. This one comes in soft. A spin serve again. And a bit of a fumble. As Meha gets that one. And this one doesn't go over for Mora. So it looks like a couple of them are just not getting over the net. So 2 points away from taking the set are the Huskies. And this one goes long. So it's going to take very, very few mistakes for the Colts to get back to this one. Pawlowski gets this one. Bit of an awkward service by them. And the Colts get that one. Let's look at that one. Look at that. The replay. And wow, that was pretty close. Pawlowski getting that one on the libero. And this one, the tip wasn't just quite there. As the Colts claw their way back. So like I said, a few mistakes in order for them to sneak away with this one. As that one, libero gets. Katabi trying to save this one. Ruiz gets that one. And that one had to hit that backwards almost because of the rotation. But nonetheless, a point away are the Huskies. As Julia Gordon wants to put an end to this one. The Colts speaking a couple things over with the ref. So maybe a couple of concerns by them. but nonetheless gets resolved. So it's going to be the Huskies at the service.
Now serving number 9, Julia Morgan.
As this one gets on Katabi, Louise dives for that one. Pulowski just taps it over. And a great dig by the Colts. Here comes Richia. Gets met at the top. And this one is a point to the Colts. It looked like Pulowski was trying to go for that one for the save, for the dig. And good thing she didn't, because that would have been a point. So Sabrina Mora gets that one on. And a block point to the Colts. So this one, the Colts shaking and spicing a couple things up. As the Huskies have a little bit of a change of formation. And a violation on the rotation. So free point to the Colts. And the Huskies do not want to choke this set, as they were pretty much in demand of this one. So a rotation issue, I'm assuming that's what the players were probably talking about. So we've seen Richia talking to the ref, and Coach Andrew Mallory pointing a couple things out. So I'm assuming that rotation was causing a little bit of issues for the Colts. You know, not a full rotation going on, or a bit of a miscue by the Huskies. But late in the game, man, that does come and haunt you. And 2 points, I mean, not a huge lead, and it's win by 2. So regardless, the Colts would need 2 straight in order to forfeit 1. So here is Sabrina Mora. And she gets this one. Here's Sabrina. And Pulowski spikes that one. So what a turn of events. To look at that one. That one just grazes the top of the net. And this is the biggest point for the Colts thus far. Stealing the first set would be huge. As this one gets on, and the Colts tie it up. So it's a win by 2 now. There's no dead at anything. This can go up to 100. So Sabrina Mora, the story at the service. And the Colts get that one, as that one goes out. As the Huskies have seen enough and call a timeout. Ooh, that one looked a little bit, I don't know, kind of a glossy court. It's kind of weird to tell, because the fade of the trail of the ball. Might need a close-up camera, but the linesman seen it out. So I'll be only out by fractions of an inch. So Colts are 1 away from stealing the set. So this would be a stolen set for the Colts. They were down 5-1 and then 16-8. Down 16-8. A couple timeouts by the head coach. It looks like they have solved the puzzle of the Huskies. And at the service, the first comes as a service ace. So the first service ace for the Colts comes at a crucial moment. Here are the Huskies putting that on Katabi. Rachia with the spike. Deering for Ruiz. Back to Deering. And the Colts get that point. So now for the Colts, Meja and Arujo checking in as Katabi has a seat. And Deering goes off as well. So Rachia could win the first set at this service. She gets it in. Huskies set up. And they spike it. So this is looking like a thrilling set here. Both teams demanding this one. Next point is crucial as Sophia gets that one to go. So an effective substitution by the Colts as they meet with the tall middles of the Huskies. Just battling this one through. So set point for them. As Ruiz, bit of a horizontal one here. Sets it up for Deering. And Katabi setting it up. This one gets softly touched over, and this is where the Huskies thrive. Memora gets that one. As Deering gets the point. And the Colts steal the set. So a stolen set for the Colts. What a comeback. So a lot of things are going to be spoken about going into this second set. What a game plan switch by the Colts. You know, we've seen them change their formation a couple times, kind of put it in deep, and then sometimes face the middles. But not a lot of mistakes by them, you know. Not a bunch of service errors. It looks like a completely different team. And they have a lot on the line. So an effective 1-0 set win by them. So 2 away. Possible Loyalist loss would put them in a clinching spot. So we will be back shortly for set number 2. as we are moments away from set number 2. So the Huskies look a little bit shook as they choked that. I believe it was 20-11 at one point. So all the momentum on the Colts side as we are ready to begin. Set 2, Ruiz at the service. Gets that one in. Here's Sophia to Richia. And she's not happy about that one. So for the Huskies, Morrow puts that one a bit low, and that one just gets through everything. So a very low serve for Morrow. Let's look at that one. Just went horizontally across, super low. So she's gonna go for that one again. A little bit of front rotation on that. Bit of an awkward spike by Arujo, but very, very smart technique as this one goes out. Just look at that one again. Arujo challenging the middles, but doesn't get through. So Ruiz sets it up for Sophia. This one fumbles quite a bit. And Sophia gets met at the top by Sterling. So this is looking like a repeat of set 1, being down 4-0. As Katabi takes this one, and Arujo just splits through both middles. Meets the top is Richia, getting that block. And it looked like a net violation the Huskies were calling for. The Arujo looked like she grazed the net there. But nonetheless, Huskies a dominating 5-0 start. So let's look at that. The spike gets on as head coach Andrew Mallory wants to change a couple things. This one gets on Katabi. Here's Sophia, actually to Deering, and this one goes flying into the bleachers. So Deering has a gunshot of a spike. She goes high on the service. That one gets a bit too much on the palm area, on the lower palm, and doesn't get the arc she needed. And the Colts just overcommit too much on the front side and not a lot at the back. As the Huskies slipping away with this one. So it looked like the Colts are going to come into this with momentum, but it's the Huskies regrouping and showing why they're 7-7 in the OCAA. And the Colts get their second point. So Arujo for the Colts. Richia. Here comes the spike. And Deering gets that one. Ruiz just spikes it. So a rally. So this is a very, very long rally. The longest one we've seen of the day. Here's Richia. So Ruiz looked like she wanted to play that. It was a bit in the middle But the middles of the Huskies just jump over and get that one down. So a very, very fun rally right there. And that's actually where the Colts this entire season has thrived in, is rally points and their defense. But look for the regroup. And as I say that, Deering just puts it a bit long. So Arujo, the middle for the Colts, 68 kills this season. Looking to pile up on that one as a service error for the Huskies. And she has 22 total blocks, 2.6 points per set, and a .259 hitting average. So an effective net front presence and very effective defensively. Katabi gets that one. Richia doesn't get it over the middles again, so it's the middles that it looks like the Huskies are just sticking to the middles. Is that they're not changing their game plan much. They're forcing the Colts to change theirs. And it looks like that's what they're going to have to do if they want to have a ridiculous comeback like they did in the first set. So this one goes flying all the way to the back corner as the Huskies look like they're in control. So the Colts, in order for them to get this comeback, they need to start getting those service rallies on their side. As the Colts get their point. The Colts have to win these extended rallies. We know they can gas out players a lot, and it's something they thrive in. So putting other teams in areas they're more comfortable with is going to be the key for them to win this one. And head coach Andrew Mallory calls a timeout. Wants a couple things changed. Sees a few things that the Colts can improve on and target. So we will be back after this timeout.
Don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Colts Athletics at Centennial WBB. It's the best way to stay in the know. We've got lots of events going on this month for Black History Month. Make sure to check out on Tuesday, February 24th, Grace Kingston Africa display hosted by Professor Robert Batista. To be at the Progress Campus Bridge between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. There'll be a beautiful display. Make sure to check it out.
So after that timeout, here are the Huskies. As they get that point off at the service here. Head coach Andrew Mallory's hands go up to signal that was out. Colts get this one on. And a net violation. So after these timeouts, we know the mind of head coach Mallory. He sees the court very well, so he can give his input to his team. And he's been doing that, and 3 straight points. Having a coach like that in those timeouts is very, very crucial in games like this. He's not just watching the game, he sees where his team can improve on. And we know the Colts can win well in the first set, and this one kind of goes too much in, runs too much in on Katabi. And the Huskies are going to get their time at the service now. Set up for Sophia. That one gets through a lot, and this one goes to the side. It looks like the Huskies trying to pick their spots, but a bit too much power on that. It looks like Sophia Arujo is just challenging those blocks by the middles. So this one kind of spins on the Huskies, and a bit of a fumble for them, but they get that one back as Ruiz sets it up for Arujo. And as I say that, yeah, she's just challenging them all the way up top, as we see that on the replay. Gets that one to go. Sometimes the blocks can just put the middles just can put their block down. As I say that, the Huskies don't challenge the block, they actually just go around it and spike it. So Murrow for the Colts, for the Huskies, servicing that one. The libero of the Huskies saves that one. Katabi saves this one, and it is out. Far out, actually. So a regroup by the Huskies. So it is Deering. Gets that one on the libero, challenges the libero, Macfung. So Caitlin Macfung doesn't have an answer for that one. It looks like, yeah, a bit of a weird one. She was just caught flat-footed. And that one goes to the right of her. As Deering puts it on. Watch the block. And as I say that, looks like their middles are a bit overcommitted on the blocks. And it just leaves some space for the tap. But the Colts not too far out of this one. As Sophia gets that spike to go. She just has been challenging the blocks all night. So a couple of subs being made as Eva Hamilton checks out. So Meha comes in, and this one goes out. So a service here for the Colts. So Sterling. That one was a dig and a half by Centennial. And another dig by the libero, Katabi. And she spikes this one, and this one is long. So a couple of ones that are going a bit too far for the Colts. As Ruiz setting it up for Ocaa. And it looks like the Huskies were prepared for that attack as they get in control of the service. There's the Huskies putting it on Katabi, just challenging the Colts. Libero has this one. Rojas gets that one to go in her favor. A very athletic move by Rojas. Doesn't get the net violation. Just a perfect jump by her. Richia serves it in, and the service, the block, sorry. And Katabi gets the dig there. And a few, it looks like they're just piling up. A few of these attacking errors for the Colts have just been piling up. So the Colts are more effective, like I said, in the rally. So you want them to earn the point rather than give it to them. And we know volleyball is a game of errors, no matter how good a team or player is. As Meja gets that one. As it looked like the Colts were inching back in this one, but they're going to have to change the service. Because number 13, Marshall, has been excellent at the service. And gets that one to graze the top of the net. Those ones are very difficult to save. Here comes the block attempt, and it's there. But the deflection gets the better of them. So 22-13, visitors leading. Colts take a timeout. We're going to talk a few things over, so we will be back in a few. We're back after that timeout. And this one touches the top of the roof. So visitors leading by 10 now. And for the next set, it's looking like the Colts are going to probably want to stay away from Marshall, as she knows how to pick her spots on the service. So the middle's getting set up. For the Huskies, but for the Colts, yeah, it is going to be time to rally back for them. This would be a very crazy story for them to win both sets and a thrilling comeback. So Sabrina Mora and the Huskies just exchanged 1-for-1 as Deering Gets that one. And Rojas with the block point. As the Colts bleachers make some noise. So Sabrina Mora as another rotation violation for the Huskies. So Sabrina Mora doesn't even get to have that service. She gets the free point there. As this one spinning hard, those are very hard to control. Meja sets it up for Ruiz. And Deering throws that ball away, does not like it. Wants another one, a little bit of a, you can say a bad luck charm. So for the Huskies, it's going to be Julia Gordon. She puts it on Katabi. And watch the spike, and it gets blocked there, but this one gets the point for the Huskies as they regrouped for the second set. So a 1-1 tie, up to 3 wins. So for the Colts, it's going to be what they did in that first set. Not in the beginning part, but the second half of that. Going to have to find their way to win this one. So we will be back in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So see you then. we get ready in moments to start set number 3. So it's great that the Colts won the first set, or else they would have been on the fence. 2-0, and a quick response as Arujo spikes that one. Let's look at that setup. Sophia Arujo spikes that one to get the kill. So Ruiz, this one goes in between the libero, a couple of the Huskies, but nonetheless gets through to the Huskies, and that one was a snap of a spike. Looked like they were probably going to set up, but she fakes it, tilts the other way. So the body language tells a lot. Actually doesn't tell a lot, because you look like he's going to go for the save right there and set it up, but goes right for the kill, and she gets it her way. And now a quick 2-point response for the Huskies. In response to that, kill by Arujo. So the Huskies get this one on Katabi, as Sophia, actually it was Deering, and a bit of a fumble for the Huskies. So 2-2. Look like this one is probably going to be the most competitive set out of all of them. As Deering gets it on the libero, and she kind of smacks it in the air, and a net violation. So nonetheless, it doesn't matter if it got over, but cannot touch the net. So it's going to be Deering for the Colts. And this one goes for a home run. As we see Deering doing that home run celebration on the as Deering doesn't get the full dive she was looking for there. And the Huskies get the services. And Sterling, very effective in set number 2. She didn't like it, so she gets the service here. So they trade 4-4 in this one, as Sophia Arujo gets that on. And the block attempts by Rojas and Richia were there. And it looked like the Huskies were trying to go across the blocks. There was a bit of an opening there because of the commitment by the Colts to get that block, but it doesn't go over the net. So point for the Colts. And a serve spin by Arujo. This one Ruiz gets the dig on. Sophia sets it up for Richia. And a lift by the Colts. So a violation on their part. Looked like they had a great setup going their way. As Katabi was caught a bit flat-footed on that one. So the Colts making some noise. As Deering tips that one a bit too far. So the Colts is sticking to their formation, but Coach Andrew Mallory wants a couple things changed on the offensive side of things. That one grazes the top of the net. So here's the setup by the Huskies and the block attempt, but it goes over, but nonetheless a save by the Colts. Here comes the spike, and that one gets on Katabi, and in between Ruiz and Rojas. So Colts get the point. Sorry, the Huskies get the point on that one. And only a 3-point differential for Colts. As this one gets on Katabi. And this one goes long. So a few points that are piling up, as we've seen at the end of set 2, is the balls have been going long for the Colts. And those attacking errors are the difference makers. And Rojas gets the kill for the Colts. So very positive attitude from the Colts. And here she goes. And this one just tips over. So you could probably try that a bunch of times by Rachia, and you wouldn't get that one. That one just pauses midair and just falls. As this one gets alley-ooped to Katabi, and we know that one was an easy dig attempt and setup for the Colts, but it was just in between two of the players of the Colts. This one gets put on Katabi, and this is where the height advantage is the differential, as Ruiz was facing the 6'1" Sterling up front. So it was a 50-50 ball, and she just taps it over. As this one bounces a few times in between the roof. It looked like a ping pong match up there. But a close game. 5 points, 12-7, visitors leading. As the Huskies get in on the libero. And 2 touches by the Colts, and it looks like head coach Mallory isn't too pleased with the call. Let's look at that by Deering. Sophia Mora spikes that one. Sorry, Sabrina Mora. I kind of mixed both names in one. As the Huskies get that one to go in their favor. This is a very, very crucial set for the Colts. They want to stay alive and keep their postseason hopes. They're going to have to put everything into this one. They respond with a point. And now Sabrina Mora for the Colts. Gets that on the libero. She looked like she didn't like that too much. It probably stung her a little, shaking that one off. As Richia, it looked like, I didn't know which side the ball was on. It was kind of floating in between, but just floating too much on the Colt side. That one falls on our side. And here is Katabi getting it set up for Rojas. As Hamilton checks into the game, and Sofia Arujo check in for Rojas. So Eva Hamilton gets this one. As Rachia gets the dig there. Sophia gets the point for the Colts. As it looks like Rachia checks out and Katabi comes in. So a bit of a change for the Colts. Well, they want a bit of a different look. And the block there for Sophia, but they just return it back. And let's see what the violation was. It was a bit of a violation, but ref doesn't signal anything. Eva Hamilton, a hard service by her, sets it up. This one's got to go over, so Mora does get it over. Here is the block attempt by her, but grazes the fingers and goes out. So a quick few points for the Colts. Deering fakes it to Sophia, and Sophia is there this time to spike that one for the kill. As Ruiz puts it in horizontally. As this one slammed in hard. So we can't put it in the wheelhouse for the Huskies, as those middles are very, very dangerous. Here for Rachia. Here comes the middles. Rachia getting that one to go. Just look at that on the replay. She just spikes it, using that height to her advantage. And we know Katie Deering is a bullet at the service. And that's what she does. And meeting at the top was Rojas and Arujo. And this one goes long. And the Colts get that point. So Deering gets this one in. And this one is a point. And you see Eva Hamilton signaling to her team that that one is on her. A little bit of a positioning error, it looked like. So Eva there to collect that one. And Sophia lightly taps it in. Here's the block. And Sophia using that 6'3" height to her advantage. Meeting at her was Mora. And that one was a bit of a deflating one. It looked like the Colts stayed alive long enough to win that rally, but Huskies stuck through. So the Huskies commit a service here, and the Colts should be thankful for that one. You know, Sterling is a hell of a at service. So Neha for the Colts. She gets it on. So that one goes out. Colts sticking through. As this one gets on, not a lot of service errors for the Colts. As Katabi, the libero, gets this one, and a bit of an awkward one as Macfung just pushes it in the air. With the Colts not too far out of reach. So Marshall. Ruiz setting it up for Ocaa. Ruiz for Katabi. And Mora. And Katabi digs that one out. As Mora gets this one, so this is a rally that the Colts need and they get. So, like I said near the pregame, this is where the Colts are most effective. It is that rally and defense area. Ruchia softly puts it in, actually fakes it going hard. And Ruiz setting it up. Here's Mora. This one gets in a bit of an awkward spot. Softly taps it over with Rojas. And this one's spinning a little. Looked like it was getting away from the Colts, but they regroup. And this one gets in between both of the Colts. So Colts playing very well compared to the second set and the first set, the one that they actually won. Regardless of the fact that they are down by 4 in this set. Look like they've been finding their way and clawing back. But a bit of a weird start in the beginning. I believe going down 5-0. So, but after that, they've been very, very effective. As head coach Andrew Mallory doesn't want things to go in the direction of the Huskies as he calls a timeout. So we will be back shortly. So Meha kind of goes a bit in on her forearm. So slips out to the bleachers. Katabi saves that one. And this one goes out. The Colts peek over. They get that point to go in their direction. And this is going to have to be one of those thrilling comebacks if they want this one. So spinning a bit for the Huskies. Is that one? It looks like the Huskies have some trouble closing out some games. And a bit of a change as Pawlowski checks in. As this one gets on the libero a bit. As this one far on Rojas. As a set point for the visitors. So 24-19. This one's got to go over from Miha. He softly gets it over. As Katabi gets the dig there. Miha spikes this one, and Katabi getting those digs for the Colts. And Deering spikes that one. So like I said, the Colts throughout the game have just been getting better and better. And it's funny how I say that because they won the first set. But it looking like they're finding their groove. And it's going to be Rojas having to rally back into this one. As Deering sets it up for Sophia, and Sophia gets the kill. Is it looking like one of those comebacks for the Colts? Let's find out. Or is it gonna be... It looked like that one may have went short. And this one is a regroup by the Huskies. And Deering gets that, all of it, but a dig by the Huskies. And Sophia, it looked like she was going to get the kill there. Wow. The Huskies are just stayed alive hard in that one. But nonetheless, a thrilling one there. So, not sure what's going on with the Huskies. And if we look at all three sets, they have not cleanly finished or ended the games well. So, a bit of an issue there for them. But for the Colts, 2 points away from making this a win-by-2 contest. So for the Colts, they're going to have to dig deep. Rojas gets this one. The Colts keep it alive. And Deering gets the point. Oh my goodness. Man, it looked like this game was just gone. And this is going to be the point for the Colts that changes this set completely, because then it turns into a win-by-2 scenario. And this one gets the point. So it is now win by 2. So this is turning into the first set scenario here. As man, this comeback in this third set, if they do pull this off, would have been way better than the one in the first set, because this one it looked like they were just completely out of it, and it looked like they were gonna probably have to regroup for that fourth set. But man, you can't count this team out. They have a very, very deep group, a very, very intelligent head coach. So I'm excited to see what head coach Andrew Mallory has cooked up for the Colts, as Rojas has been very, very good in these clutch moments. And it looks like the Colts are very calm and composed, but both teams looking a little bit nervous, a little bit. Looks like they're composed, but that one just gets punched into the air, actually. And this one goes over the referee, gets into a weird spot. And now they can get this set back. This could do it. This could do it for the Huskies. So let's see if it does. This one, Sophia Arujo keeping her team alive. So Dawn Ruiz for her team. As this one goes ridiculously horizontally. And that was a beautiful service by Dawn Ruiz, but man, that return spike going right through Ruiz and just diving at the end. So set point for the visitors as they get this one on Katabi. As Deering gets the kill there. So the Colts do not want this one to go away. This could be, they already stole the first set, could steal this third one, and then they would have the Huskies where they want them. So Deering, that one, a bit of a miscue for her. She commits a service error. So let's look at that one. Yeah, that one goes a bit wide. And a bunch of changes for, sorry, not a bunch, actually one change for the Huskies as Paredes comes in. As the Colts making some noise. And Sophia just tips it over and gets the point. So this is just looking like they're just trading every time. Every time it looks like they're 1 point away from winning the set. The Huskies, the Colts just tie it up. So let's see if now they can put the Huskies on their toes. And this one, ooh, a bit of a long one. So both ad services for the Colts result in service errors. So we're going to see how that changes a few things as Sophia Arujo checks out. Katabi gets this one. Richia gets the point. So as they just keep tying it up. So let's see if the Colts can put themselves in a position for set point. And this one is a spike for the visitors. That one comes in shallow. And it is set win number 2 for the visitors. Now this is do or die for the Colts for their playoff hopes, as they will regroup for this 4th set, possibly pushing it to a 5th one, which would be up to 15, win by 2 scenario. And yeah, we will be back after this regroup by both sides in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we are in way of set number 4. As Ruiz gets this one. Block attempt was there for Aruja. She's chasing. That was attempt there. And she gets that one to go in her way. And for the Colts, they cannot go down 5-0, 6-0 in the beginning of these sets, because this is it for them if they lose. Right? So they're going to have to push this. And this one doesn't get the roof. It goes in between the pillars. And the Colts get that one as Arujo gets a quick 2 points for the Colts. Ruiz doesn't get on the libero, actually. And that was Sterling. Sterling has been lights out for the Huskies, even at the service and at the middle. And the Colts get the point there. It looked like that one was kind of hovering on the line. As Deering fans on it a little. So she gets the service here. Colts fans making some noise, jinxing that one. Zarujo puts it on. As the Colts get that point. So 5-2 start for the Colts, and like I've mentioned in set number 3, they've just been getting better and better as this series has been going on. Just finding their way. And this one slips on Marshall, so the Colts take a 6-2 lead. And they need the Loyalists to lose in this one as they get set to face Durham. So Sabrina Mora taps it over. As this one, bit of a rally for both, and the libero overcommits on that one as the Colts bleachers make some noise. So substitutions being made. The Huskies get set, and Deering fakes the spike and just tips it over. As Rojas kind of smiles that one off. It kind of looked like she wanted to set it up, and this one goes long. And as I say that, Durham beats the Loyalists 3-0 in sets. So it is going to be up to the Colts as the things do go in their favor. So 8-2 demanding lead for the Colts as the visitors call a timeout. So we'll be back after this timeout. Now for the Colts. Sophia. Deering slaps that into the air, actually. And this one is set up, and it doesn't get over for Julia Gordon. So 9-2 lead. It's actually the biggest lead the Colts have had throughout this series. And look for Haley Marshall to check back into this one as her head coach does not want to see her far from this action. A net violation for the visitors. So 10-2 for the home team. Sophia. Oh, that one goes out. It looked like kind of, everyone was kind of looking at the flagsman down by the court. As Sophia commits the service here, she's talking a couple things over with her team. As Atria Katabi checks in. So this one goes long by Paredes. So Paredes puts that one a bit long. Richia. And this one goes flying as Paredes takes a scary dive there, but it looked like she's all right. So the Colts just celebrating it off as they're up 13-3. This is going to give them a huge momentum if they go into a final set 5. And that ball kind of just froze at the top. But Julia Gordon showing her athleticism as she meets the ball in the middle and the Colts and just puts it on their side. As this one goes out, service here for the Huskies. Now it's going to be Sabrina Mora. She gets that one on the libero. Katabi setting it up. Deering actually kind of setting it up in front of the referee. Didn't see a lot going on there. But for the Huskies, Katabi. And this one kind of fans a little bit on Rojas. And 13-3, we're leading the home team. And yes, they do have a big margin, 14-6, but Huskies team's already in the playoffs, so you just want to keep on building on the lead instead of, figuring things out later on. And as I say that, Colts get the point back. So a couple of substitutions being made as Ava Hamilton comes in. She gets that one over and gets the services for the Colts. So timeout, visitors, as the home team retains the 10-point lead. So after this timeout, we will continue the broadcast. So after that timeout, as the visitors get the point right there. As this one goes long on the visitors. So maintaining that, they can trade 1-1, and the Colts will still cruise into victory. As this one kind of gets brushed off. But Julia Gordon kind of came near her neck area, so a bit of an awkward one. Not knowing to use the underhand or overhand. And Ruiz puts that one wide, committing the service here. Now Jessica Bowmaster for the Huskies. As head coach Andrew Mallory was running away from that. The ball kind of came in his wheelhouse. As Deering spikes that one. The block attempt was there. And this one, a home run celebration again for Deering. So head coach Andrew Mallory calls a timeout. With that 10-point lead shrinks to an 8-point lead. This is a very crucial time to call a timeout. We know how good that the Huskies are, and you don't want to let them build off of this 2-point lead because they have the momentum on their side. And for the Colts, it's just about finding areas where they can improve on and just executing there. And that's what they're going to have to do for these final 7 points. And for the Huskies, it's about clawing back into this game and showing resilience. So we'll see what they spoke about. Not assuming a lot, but both coaches seeing where they can help give their team a boost. Sophia spikes that one and a dig by the visitors. So that was a mind-blowing dig. Sophia, one of the leaders for the Colts actually in kills. So very hard to maintain that. As a dig attempt is successful for the visitors. Ruiz setting it up for Deering. And 2 players colliding with the visitors. And now 4 consecutive points for the home team. The visitors. So the Huskies are sensing that they can come with a comeback of their own. And such a crazy turn of events, that third set could have gone the Colts' way and they would have been 6 points away from closing this out. But credit to the Huskies as they won that. So a very neck and neck battle here, as many things could have changed the outcome. But Rachia puts the Huskies in a bit of a fumble. And they respond now with a point of their own. So now Katie Deering. Gets that one, and that one goes a bit wide. So a few players making some changes. It is gonna be Daniel Corpus. Coming in at the service. As the visitors get the point there. So this is a bit of a weird one for the Colts. Sophia gets met at the top by Alexa Millard. So this is a bit of an awkward one for the Colts, as now they're giving the comeback to the visitors. This Corpus gets it in, a great dig by her. And the Huskies stay alive. And this one isn't just over as we thought. And Rachia kind of fakes it going left, but tries to go down the line. And Danielle Corpus as this one gets on. Rachia spikes it home with a response of her own. As Meha gets that one. Ruiz setting it up. And Rojas. This one getting on Katabi. Ruiz setting it up. Rachia. And the block attempt was there, but goes on the inside of the wrist, so it doesn't kind of deflect over to get that block point. So a bit of a close one. And to keep the Colts season alive, or postseason hopes alive, they're going to have to first think about winning this one. And this one grazes the top of the net. And it looked like the Colts may have almost gotten the point there, as the block point is there, as the bleachers make some noise. Here is a rally. And this one, a save by Ruiz. And it looked like a net violation that got away. Head coach Andrew Mallory not too happy about that one. Regardless, point goes to the Colts. Bleachers are not too happy about that one. That was a clear net violation. Not sure what the ref saw there, but clear interference with the net. Wow, a beauty of a tip there by the Huskies. I mean, how costly would have that been if in that rally the net violation occurred, but the Colts didn't get the point? You know, 22-19 wouldn't have been. It's a tight game, man. Honestly, this one kinda short. Not kinda. Is short. And 23-19, still leading the home team. So head coach Andrew Mallory. Let's see what he has in store. Maybe a timeout after this if they don't get the point, if they do continue playing on. A lot on the line for them, as that was an acrobatic spike there. Katabi sets it up for Ruiz. And this one, the barrel of the Huskies get this one. And Ruiz putting it back on for Katabi. And this one. It's getting tipped over. It was rolling on top of the net. And a two-touch for the Huskies. So home team set point, putting this into a tiebreaker. This loss would put the Huskies under 500. But nonetheless, it looked like it might have almost snuck through at the top, but the net said no. So the Colts call a 1-minute timeout. A few things going to be spoken over on how to close this out, as now they're going to be on the receiving side of things. So we'll be back shortly. As we are underway for a set point for the Colts. As Ruiz gets the set point, and the Colts will be going to a tiebreaker in 3 minutes. So this will be up to 15. Win by 2. So both teams are gonna have to strategize on seeing who can pull away with this one, but very neck and neck. Entertaining one thus far. So we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. So we are back to this up to 15 game. Each point very crucial. And the Colts started off with a dig. And it doesn't go their way. This is Alexa Milot. Sophia gets met at the top. And now the Colts respond of a point of their own. Look at that replay quickly. Had them diving there for a second. But nonetheless. Here comes Deering. She sets it up. Louise going in to Sophia. And this one is going to be a point. So the home team up 2-1. So Deering, very, very strong on her service. Let's say that she puts that spin serve on. This one is rotating around as Mora got all of that. Richia putting it on. The Huskies aren't giving up. And this one got saved. I thought it might have bounced off the ground. That looked like it may have bounced off the ground earlier, but the hand, I guess it just bounced off of the hand. So 3-1 nonetheless. Deering. And both teams calling for it. I thought it was in. And all bias aside, I mean, let's look at that replay. That was out. Never mind. I mean, the gloss of the floor kind of tells a different story up top here. And Sophia gets that spike to go in her favor. (4-2) home team. So now, Meha. That one doesn't touch the roof, actually. This one gets back on Meha. As this one goes falling far, and the Colts get that point, leading 5-2. So Meha putting this one. And that one goes out as the Colts get the point. So this one slipping away from the visitors as they call the timeout. Okay, we are back as Meha puts that one a bit long, but she had a very, very strong ad service. So here is the Huskies. As this one goes way out. So both teams trading points. Pulowski checks in for Ocaa. Pulowski. Just this one in. And commits a net violation. So timeout. Oh, sorry, not a timeout. Just both teams switching sides because they reached that half mark. Here goes Pulowski. This one is not going to go over. So an attacking error committed by the visitors. Pulowski puts this one in. Hard spike by Mora, and she gets that one to go. Let's look at that. Mora. So timeout, and we will be back shortly. As this one goes out for the Huskies. And the home team leading 11-3. As this one is in the air. It's kind of bobbled a little, but it is looking like it looked like it was going to go out. Set up. As a dig was coming through, so a great attempt by Meha. But she kind of falls on that one. So Katabi barely gets that one over as Ruiz gets the dig of the set. Dig of the game, honestly. And this one goes out. So the Colts close to finishing this one off. 3 points off. Sabrina Mora. As she slides into that one. So she gets subbed off. Very good from this entire Colts team. A lot of depth been showing. It's met at the top by Rojas, but here is Deering. And clawing their way back. So here's Meha. And this one barely gets over Ruiz. Pulowski. And the block point gets awarded to the home team. So changes coming in, Eva Hamilton and Sophia Arujo. And this one goes out by Deering, so 13-7, not quite over yet, but very close, as this is the final set. And Coach Andrew Mallory has 2 timeouts, so maybe call one if they do forfeit this point, and that's what does happen. So thinking about it, kind of, but sticks with it. And this one goes long, and Colts sensing a victory now. This would, I think, the Loyalists have lost, and I'm not sure, but maybe a couple more things need to go their way, and they would have a postseason berth this year. And I'm jinxing that. Players aren't going to like me talking about the playoffs already, but can't be jinxing it anymore. Maybe jinx this serve, and it's Ruiz. Sophia. Timeout. Head coach Andrew Mallory. So quick 2 points for the visitors. So talk a couple things over. So here it goes for The Colts and Sophia could have won it right there. Quite a bit of players falling. Sophia calling for it. Lucia. Looking like she wanted to put the finishing touches on it. But it is going to be Jessica Bowmaster. This one's got to go over for Katabi. It does. And 2 quick points again for the visitors. So 4 consecutive points as the Colts are struggling to close things off. And Sophia looked like she was close to finishing that one. And now timeout for the home team. So 5 straight points for the visitors. As the Colts can't close it out. So we'll see what the game plan is for them. So we'll see for them to make a different move here. This one gets put on a tria. Here's Sophia. It looked like she could finish it, but the digs are there as they put it in deep. Lucia setting it up. And the Colts finishing it off as they win it in a comeback fashion. Well-deserving victory for the Colts as they stayed alive and just stuck with it. So final here at the Progress campus as the Centennial Colts in a strong home win over George Brown. Complete team effort. Centennial is going to build momentum into their final home game this Saturday, February 7th. So don't forget the Colts Saturday. We will see you shortly. I was your host, Danish Jabbar, along with producer Leo. We will be back within 30 minutes for the men's volleyball game. See you then.